España es aire, aire y sol. 1, 2, 3, 30, 300 días de sol al año. Y campos y mares. Y un ancho océano. España es tierra de molinos que doman el viento. Desde siempre, nación de viento, sol, de tierra ancha y aguas profundas. Un país de energía inagotable que apuesta por desplegar sus recursos naturales para acelerar la transición ecológica y crecer de forma sostenible y descarbonizada gracias a ese potencial privilegiado. Somos el octavo país con mayor potencia renovable instalada y el segundo en Europa. Casi la mitad de la generación eléctrica nacional ya es renovable. Un sector con más de 111.000 empleos que se triplicarán en esta década. Y ya somos el 10º mercado más atractivo en el mundo para inversiones en energía verde. En el nuevo modelo energético que destierra los combustibles fósiles, el ciudadano se erige en actor principal. En España el autoconsumo se ha multiplicado por 10 desde 2017 y el mapa de las comunidades energéticas crece cada día. España ha situado el clima y la energía en el centro de una transformación integral para lograr la neutralidad climática en 2050. Una economía de bajas emisiones competitiva y eficiente que asegure la soberanía energética con recursos limpios y propios y garantice la protección de los hogares. Esta transición debe ser justa con las personas y los territorios. La premisa es no dejar a nadie atrás, creando alternativas innovadoras, manteniendo el empleo y la población con inversiones ligadas a la economía verde, con diálogo y participación ciudadana.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very pleased to welcome you to the Spanish Pavilion in this very important day. It's the Energy Day. The role of energy, all you know, it's very key, important for this conference of the parties. 75% of emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, came from the energy sector. And of course, I think we have lots of reasons to be positive because we have a huge potential to reduce the emissions of the energy sector. Let me start saying thank you very much to Dite, Director General of Energy at the European Commission. Thank you for being here today in this opening. We have been working very hard in the past years. It has been very, very difficult with the pandemic, with the crisis, the energy crisis, the war in Ukraine. And we've been working together to find urgent solutions in that moment. But at the same time, I want to share with you that we have been working in the main measures, the structural ones. That means we want to battle this climate change, but also we want to look at the energy security, accelerating the energy transition. So that was the great part of the European Union response. You are fully aware about the Fit for 55 package. We are now the presidency of the Council, and we are working very hard to put all the different regulations that we need to take place on board. So we have been working in reforms, very important ones, like the electricity design, that hopefully we will have the final result during this December. We also have good results in methane emissions, reduction of methane emissions. We are working on buildings energy efficiency, critical raw materials, something very important for this open strategic autonomy. But again, I think that we were facing a structural challenge, and we, together, European Union as a whole, have looked at that response. And now we are here in the COP, and we will look for a clear commitment. What is the role of energy in this COP? And I think it's very clear that we need to double the energy efficiency from now to 2030 and triple renewable energy up to 2030. But at the same time, we need to phase down fossil fuels. It's something very clear. We need to do that. And the time is now, hopefully, and I'm sure with the help and leadership of the European Union and all the countries that will join us, we will find that solutions coming pretty soon. I would like also to share with you that during the last 3 years, the European Union has unprecedented progress in terms of energy, in terms of energy security, and that deliver very concrete objectives in Europe and in Spain. And let me share with you concrete things that happen in Spain that you probably know. In solar PV, Spain since 1918 increased more than 250%. I think that's amazing. But if you look at self-consumption, have increased more than 1,000% in our country. At the same time, we have been working, looking for this transition to be just, to be fair, and that's why we have something very important, that is the just transition strategy, and we walk through the territories trying to bring the best solutions for all the people, all the civil society, because the success of the climate, the success of the energy transition have to come with all the people. I also would like to say that when I think about energy transition, I think about an agenda of opportunities for job creation, for industrial revolution, for competitiveness. And of course, today, from now to this afternoon, we would like to share with you many different things with many different actors, business, civil society, scientists, governments. We would like to share the Spanish case first, how we work in the energy transition to maximize the opportunities in our country. We also would like to talk about open strategic autonomy, how important it is to avoid new dependencies in the future coming from this transition. We also would like to spend very long session on industrial decarbonization, which I consider is very relevant, and we will have very good examples with us. And of course, what we are doing in just transition and other experiences that we can share from other countries, and how we also consider that the civil society have to be at the center of this transition, and how we are strengthening local energy communities. And last but not least, the closing session will be about these global objectives that we want to have under this COP, this Conference of the Parties. So hope you can enjoy this complete journey that we have today, the Energy Day here in the Spanish Pavilion. And let me start giving the floor to Dieter. Thank you very much to be here with us.
Thank you very much, Sara, for your kind and inspiring opening remarks. It is a real honor to have been invited to be here at the opening of the Spanish Energy Day, the Spanish Pavilion, on this important day of COP28. So, as you also said, Sara, we work very, very closely together. We have worked closely together over the last years, but of course, even more now that that Spain is leading the European Union and holding the presidency, and really leading the European Union in our efforts to tackle the energy crisis and the climate crisis at the same time, and make strides towards a decarbonization of our economies, more renewables, energy efficiency, and a phase out of fossil fuel as part of the objective here at COP28. And as the lead of the presidency, Spain has really been instrumental in responding to the energy crisis and unfolding, accelerating the rollout of our Repower EU strategy that further increases the ambition and makes sure that the way in which we address it aligns with our climate objectives, so that it's a response to the dual crisis. Just to mention a few of the things that has been ongoing during your presidency over these last 6 months. We have diversified together the energy supply, working with trusted partners, moving away from the Russian fossil fuels. We have continued our efforts to save energy and have reduced our consumption significantly, around 18%. We have boosted the clean energy transition. We have seen an unprecedented deployment of renewables and energy efficiency measures. And we have installed renewables really as if our lives depended on it, and in a way they do, because we are in a crisis. We need that acceleration. So we have increased onshore and offshore capacity by 45% compared to 2021. And we have achieved that thanks to joint efforts across the European Union to accelerate permitting. So we now generate more electricity from wind and solar than we do from gas, And that's the first time ever, so really a breaking point where we start the cleaner energy future now together. But of course, it doesn't end there. As you have also said, there's a lot of legislative work ongoing under the Fit for 55 package, where really it is coming now together, and we hope to close all the important files so we establish a clear regulatory framework that sets investor certainty, important for our industrial competitiveness, that sets a clear pathway for project developers, for those that will invest in infrastructure and grids, so that the different pieces of the future energy system fit well together. You managed under the Spanish presidency to reach an agreement with the European Parliament, the other co-legislator, on a regulation to reduce methane emissions, a critical point in our work so that we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions overall and make sure that any fossil still in our system is as clean as possible. You have made great progress on electricity market design, and we're hopeful that we can bring that forward, that the Spanish presidency can bring that forward over the coming few weeks we have left of this year and of your presidency. So still a lot to do when we return, all of us. It is very impressive, and I really would like to thank you for your leadership, Sarah, over these last months under your presidency and the close cooperation. So this is a bit about what you have done at European level during the Spanish presidency, but a lot has happened in Spain as well, as you also pointed to. So you mentioned your rollout of photovoltaic and the very significant share of renewable in your system. I understand that you have accumulated projects for photovoltaic and wind power plants representing more than 145 gigawatt in the pipeline. 145, and that compares to 57 gigawatt overall in the European Union. So the size, the sheer quantity of the Spanish projects that are ongoing is very impressive and very significant for Spain, but for all of us. But of course, this needs to be interconnected and integrated into the European system in order for that to be really meaningful also at European level. And here, interconnections, cross-border flow is absolutely critical. And the Iberian Peninsula has been more challenged. We are working to improve that, working to strengthen the interconnections. So I want to express our clear wish that these projects go forward and our support to help make that happen. We're doing that under our Connecting Europe facility funds. We have identified projects of common interest that will connect more closely the Iberian Peninsula with the rest of Europe. One of the most important ones here is the Bay of Biscay electricity interconnection between France and Spain. That has been some time in the making. We are expected, or we intend to provide financing for that of around 587 million euro under the Connecting Europe facility. And we expect this to be commissioned in 2028. So really important to make sure that this goes ahead as planned for the full interconnection of the Iberian Peninsula. So we are grateful for that leading role also when it comes to interconnection and the rollout of renewables. And then, as you mentioned, industrial aspects, competitiveness, and the importance of that economic agenda for the energy transition and for the climate transition. Also here at European level, we are doing a lot to strengthen our competitiveness. We have presented the European Green Deal Industrial Plan. We have presented the Net Zero Industry Act, really to help build a strong net zero industry across the European Union, and Spain having a strong role also in that context. As you mentioned as well, we are working to triple renewables by 2030, double energy efficiency improvements by 2030. We launched that global pledge Saturday here at COP28 and already now have 123 countries supporting. So every day more countries are joining this movement, this collective expression of intent that we will triple renewables, double energy efficiency. A very strong signal to markets, strong signal to manufacturers, strong signal to investors, and also a very strong signal into the negotiating process here at COP, where we need to see this reflected, the tripling of renewables, doubling of energy efficiency, with a view to phasing out fossil, as that is the clear objective of the European Union here, and necessary for us to become climate neutral by 2050 and to respect the 1.5 degrees Celsius that we have agreed to in the Paris Agreement. So a lot of work ahead for the European Union and the Spanish presidency here at COP28 over the next week, but I know we are in good hands with the Spanish presidency and very close cooperation with the European Commission there. So thank you very much once again. Thank you for the invitation. And I would like to share with you our congratulations already to the Spanish presidency for the work achieved so far, the good results. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for coming. Good luck today.
Yes, you too.
So thank you very much, Dite, for being with us today. I know this today is the Energy Day. We have a very busy agenda in Spain, but also at the Conference of the Parties. So I would like also to ask the panelists to join me at the stage, please. And let's start with the first session. It's the Spanish case. I think it's the Spanish case is what is the Spanish experience and how we look at this energy transition as a great opportunity that we can maximize in our country. As Dite was saying, we are in a very crucial moment. It's crucial because of many things. The first one is we are here at the Conference of the Parties looking at how far we are from the Paris Agreement that all of us agreed in 2015. We need to make this global stocktake and look for the best solutions for implementation in order to fulfill this 1.5 pathway. At the EU level, we also have a whole package of actions and measures that we are delivering around Fit for 55 and many other elements like next generation funds in order to bring this transition faster. And also I would like to share with you that at the national level, we are now in the government, we are in a fully charged government, and I would reassure you that we have a clear commitment to accelerate the energy transition. So we have the path, we have all the actions, the measures, and we will continue to do the best to have these good results in our country. So I think we have a presentation there. If you can, it's a very short presentation where I would like to let you know that in Spain we always think about having a vision. It's very important, it's crucial. So we have a long-term vision, a medium-term vision, and a short-term vision. So with that vision, there is a centerpiece for us, and it's ecological transition. When we talk about ecological transition, there are many elements around. We are talking about biodiversity, we are talking about circular economy, we are talking about adaptation, of course, we are talking about resilient infrastructure, but we are talking about energy transition. This is also a centerpiece. So we've been working and we share with all the civil society and stakeholders, with the business sector, what is our national climate and energy framework. Let me stress with some important pieces that you can see there. 4 pieces I would like to say. The first one is we have the climate and energy law. For the first time we have a law that have a clear signals where we want to go for now to 2050. We have a long-term strategy. What are the main measures and actions that we have to deliver up to 2050 to deliver this climate neutrality aligned with the Paris Agreement? Then we have our national climate energy plan, where we want to be at 2030. I think that was a very important plan for all of us here and for the Spanish opportunities, opportunities that I would like to discuss with this excellent panel today. And another important piece is that all of this transformation needs to be in hand with a just transition. So that's why we have a just transition strategy and an action plan that you always, all the actions that we have put in place. So another thing that for us is very important, when we deliver all those plans, we have public consultation. So all the civil society, all the stakeholders deliver lots of comments, and that's enrich all those strategies. So I think that's very important. This is the long-term strategy, how we want to go from now to 2050 with many actions. And one specific action I would like to share with you is we always think that innovation needs to be a central piece, because we have technologies that we need to implement right now, but we need to think about what is the next step. So in this long-term strategy, we also think about research and development. But of course, you always know that in the energy system there are many other pieces that we need to think about, and that's why we produce these roadmaps for storage, for renewable hydrogen, for self-consumption, for biogas, for wind and marine energies, for sustainable management of critical materials. So those are important elements of our strategy. On top of this, you're fully aware, we put in place lots of regulations, a lot of work for the sector, but also for the government. And of course, because of the energy crisis and the pandemic, we have something, a key piece, a very important piece coming from Europe, is the next generation funds. With those next generation funds, we put in place our plan, a very important plan where, as you can see, recovery, transformation and resilient plan have at the center that 40% of the actions and measures needs to be in order to tackle climate change, and 20% in terms of digitalization, as a centerpiece also of the transformation that we are delivering. Around 70 billion euro that have to be mobilized in order to bring this recovery and transformation in place in Europe, and in this case in Spain. And for us, energy transition, it's very important, as you can see in this picture, because we put in place a program, and a specific one that you know as well, that is a strategic project based on renewable energy, hydrogen and storage. But one important information is that all the actions, all the projects, whatever we deliver with this money have to go through these important criteria. Do not significant harm the environment. So we can not support any action of measures that provide more pollution or healthy problems or loss of biodiversity. So we take care when we run any of the programs that you are fully aware. I think it's very, very important. And this is something that for me it's very positive. Singular projects that they are up and running now in our country. This is more than 2,000 projects that they are under implementation in Spain. Different matters like energy communities, biogas, storage, heating, cooling system, electric vehicles. So this is a map of these 2,000 singular projects, but on top of this we have been working with autonomous communities in order to bring around 10 billion euros for the time being. 10 billion euros in Spain because of these next generation funds. And again, having a planning, having a vision, it's crucial. So we have a planning, a vision to 2050, 2030, and now as well, and nowadays. And this is the update of the National Climate Energy Plan. You can see how the update from 2020 to 2023 have been more and more ambitious. We were committed to that in our law, but why we have these, for me, amazing figures is because we are prepared. We have the resources, we have the companies, the business sector, we have everything we need in Spain to be more ambitious and to accelerate the energy transition. So here you can see the figures and the numbers. These are the general objectives, but here you can see in terms of renewable energy. So we also increase all the objectives in terms of wind and solar, on renewable hydrogen, on storage biogas. So it's amazing, but it's amazing because the whole ecosystem is working. The policy framework, the will of the government, but as well the business sector is ready, and the civil society is asking for commitment with opportunities. Here you can see good results because, of course, we are having now good results nowadays. You can see that we have the highest ever annual rate with solar power, and we have a record just last month in terms of wind energy production of the electricity system, 73.3%. I think, again, they are amazing and very good figures that I would like to share with you. Very important ones. But at the same time, I would like to share that we expect that 2023, that is going to end very soon in the coming weeks, we will have more than 50% of electricity will be provided by renewables in our country. Solar PV, as I mentioned at the starting of this session, has grown more than 250% since 2018. Self-consumption more than 1,000%. I'm chemical engineer. I never imagined I can talk about 1,000% of increase. It's something really, really amazing, a very good experience. But again, I think the success story that we have in Spain needs to continue, and we are willing to make it continue with you, with all of you together. There is, here you can see some figures of rankings, international rankings on PPAs. We are the second one. We also, as you can see, are the third world leader in receiving greenfield in renewable projects. We also, Spain is the 8th most attractive country in terms of renewable energy projects. 20%. 20%, the Spanish is coming. 20% of all the announcement on green hydrogen are coming to Spain as well. So I just want to share this. It's very amazing evolution of the energy transition. And I would like to finish and start with this amazing panel with this video, which is really where we were and where we want to be in 2030. So less orange and more green. As you can see here, in 2030, almost all the big balloon will be green in Spain. So thank you very much. And now I would like to start with the panel. Welcome you, the four of you today. Thank you for being here. We have Cristina Rivero, Director of Industry, Energy, Environment and Climate, and how you can manage all of those things. From COE, thank you very much for being with us. Cristina, she has been following the Conference of the Parties for many years. I think we grew up together. The same with Gonzalo Sainz de Mera. He's president of the Spanish Green Growth Group. You are always very much in contact with innovation and how business sector and public sector can collaborate and work together in order to deliver. So thank you very much for being with us today. We also have Eva Pagan. Eva, welcome. Corporate Director of Sustainability and Studies at Redeia. Redeia is the centerpiece of the energy system. As you know, they make the integration of all renewables in our system. So thank you very much. And last but not least, we have José Donoso, Director General of Spanish PV Union. Thank you for being with us today. You can see that a lot of actions and measures came from the PV sector. So many things are happening and has happened in the last 4 years. So I will join you now and start with questions. So, thank you. Hello? Yeah, yes. Now it's working. Thank you for coming. I would like to start with Gonzalo. Gonzalo, you will be the first. Ready?
Okay. Ready.
Okay. From your perspective, what activities, new business models, new opportunities are happening in Spain because of this energy transition?
Okay, good morning to everyone, and first of all, congratulations for organizing such an amazing pavilion and such an amazing program. And thank you, Sarah, for your personal and professional leadership. Answering to your question, the sector that is experiencing the fastest growth and the one that has the greatest potential is clearly renewables. Mainly photovoltaic, large photovoltaic and self-consumption, but also wind. We have to be aware that 50% of the electricity generation in Spain now comes from renewables. But there is also, apart from generation, a lot of activities in the energy use. And here there are three things that you mentioned in the strategy, the Spanish strategy. First is electric mobility. Electric cars are becoming more evolved and cheaper. And this is one of the three technologies in line with the International Energy Agency net zero scenario. And this is a very important industry for Spain because we are the second largest car manufacturer in Europe. The second thing will be heat pumps. Almost no new houses are built without a heat pump. However, the greatest challenge, you mentioned it again, is renovation of existing facilities based on fossil fuels. And the third I wanted to mention is industry. At the Spanish Green Growth Group, we are seeing more and more interesting projects to decarbonize energy use in industry, especially industrial heat. With heat pumps for medium temperature, with electric boilers and heat storage for high temperatures, with green hydrogen for hard to abate, and then where for emissions coming from processes, we will need CCS. But this is a summary. I think this is dragging down the entire associated industry, that this is an opportunity for Spain, because either we do it or others will do it for us.
Gonzalo, thank you very much. I think it's good reflection. It's an opportunity for Spain. It's a great opportunity, and many things are happening, and a lot of business models are happening now in our country. Cristina, your experience with all sectors of economy, sustainability is part of the corporate decision making on all business in Spain and around the world. It's very important and taking more importance. Do you see any difference between sectors? Are all sectors confident with commitments?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation to invite COE to this panel. As you know, in COE, all the sectors come together. We have all the sectors, all the territories, all the companies, and it's very clear after your presentation, that this is an opportunity. We are fully convinced that this has to be an opportunity for the competitiveness of our companies, and it's very clear that sustainability is at the heart of any company, any sector in Europe, and especially also in Spain. And this is because of many reasons: to comply with the regulations, to be part of the alignment with the Paris Agreement that comes from all the requirements in standards, climate risks, consideration into the operations of the companies, but also because of reputational matters, because of the clients and the consumers wanting another model. Also, the access of the new generations fund and the do not significant harm principle that you were mentioning. And every company in Spain needs to apply the DNHS principle in order to access to those funds. So it is clear that the opportunity is there, and I can assure you that there is not a single company in Spain that has not made the reflection of rethinking their model in terms of sustainability. What can I do, or what is my role in this sustainability roadmap? And in terms of differences between the sectors, there are in Spain companies that are very, very well advanced in environmental technology, and I am thinking, for example, of the companies that in their very nature manage natural resources or water management, electricity, renewable sources. This is very clear, and they have a huge and long trajectory. For example, the power sector in Spain has reduced their emissions 65% since 2005, and this is amazing. This came because of the renewables, of course, but the manufacturing, for example, and this may not be such a well-known data, but the industry has reduced their emissions 45% in Spain since 2005. First of all, because of energy efficiency measures, but they are also, all the industry is in the race to decarbonize, not always having the technologies they need, and I'm talking about the hard-to-abate sectors, but they are developing new technologies or thinking about new products and new processes. And the transport is slightly behind, but also 10% reduction of the emissions. So very differences in because of the very nature of the different business models and companies, but all the sectors with no doubt into the sustainability race.
Thank you very much, Cristina. And now I will come to Jose. Jose, I think the evolution of the sector that you represent has been amazing in our country. There is a huge potential also in Spain. From all the measures that have implemented, which ones you say will be the better ones to explain the change in the paradigm in our country?
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to have the possibility to share the Spanish experience with all the people, even in the case that most of them are Spanish. Personally, I would like to say there is no single measure that changed the film, the movie. When the investors have in face the possibility to invest more of 50 billions of euros, what they first look is for confidence. And the confidence was transmitted to the investors by the government and the people that was in charge of the energy in the government. And your team, Sarah, and the government transmit this confidence. If I must speak about one specific measure, not for his importance in megawatts, but for his symbolic importance, was the elimination of the sun tax. I show in the first day of the government that the things are changing, that things are moving on in the right direction, and that give confidence to PV investors. In fact, then arrive options, many regulatory change, new system of connection to the grid, and so on. So one very large activity of regulation in favor to try to change the atmosphere favoring the investment. That produced one situation that we have today. We are here speaking about tripling. In PV, we multiply for 10 the installed capacity, and we wanted to continue growing. And Spain became a real PV hub today. We have more than 200,000 employments in Spain that live directly or indirectly from PV sector. We export for 4,000 million of euros. We are a real hub, a real motor of our economy for the opportunities that create. Then, I repeat, it's not a single measure, it's the atmosphere that we create. And then from the sector, we hope that this atmosphere will continue with the right measure to continue growing or to achieve the target of the new National Energy Plan review.
Thank you very much, Jose, for sure. We will continue with this very positive atmosphere with the government commitment, but I think with your commitment as well. So it's very important that all of us, as Cristina was mentioning, and Gonzalo, all of us need to work together. Eva, thank you once again for being here with us. You represent something very singular and a great example for globally, not just for Spain, and how we can integrate renewables in the system. So first of all, congratulations for that. I have a question. What do you think are the main opportunities in the increase of electrification and renewables due to that great potential that we have with the grids and with all the promoters, as Jose was saying, and all those actions in line with our objectives in the national energy and climate plans?
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for inviting here on Redeia and Red Electric. Oh, no. It's not working? Oh, it's okay. Okay, yeah. Tell me to continue talking. Thank you very much for the invitation and the words that you have for Redeia. I think that we feel we are a part of this success that as Spain we have, and all the paths that we have to the road to 2050 with this new balloon that you show us. Well, you talk about opportunities, and of course we think that there are opportunities for everybody. No? The recently review that you show us, National Energy and Climate Plan, talk about a big amount of electrification of the society, even though that we have efficiency measures, but the electrification is going up. And so we have opportunities because new consumers are coming into the system. And there are new generation, and we have the grids. So talking about the first one, about the new consumers, they have an opportunity to incorporate all the flexibility that we need to incorporate all the renewals that are coming. So as much as possible, it would be interesting that they can adapt the consumption into the network when they need, because we have many renewal. And also it would be very interesting that these new consumers can adapt for providing services as congestion management or balancing or helping with the voltage control. And from the generation side, of course, there are also a lot of opportunities when we talk about this, because we have now a generation with characteristics that we will need as provide flexibility on the system, and also as it is included in the National Energy and Climate Plan, we need the storage for helping in the new renewable generation. And if we talk about grids, we also have opportunities, as it is in the network plan that we have from 2021 to 2026. We are talking about incorporating innovative technologies for maximizing the existing grids. This is a key point that will allow us to maximize and to increase the capacity that we have in the line, applying new technology. And we can talk later. And we have to take into account that we need to expand our grids, because the new generation and the new consumption is not in the same places, and we need to incorporate and to take into the grid the new generation with this PV, solar PV, and the wind that is not where are located the traditional central that we have right now. And also the consumption. We have data centers and we have ports that want to electrify, and we need to expand the networks right there. And of course, we need to maintain the characteristics for operating the grids in a safe manner. So as we do it in Spain, there are many recommendations, all the connection network codes that we are happy to see that in Spain we have already adapted. No? So if we talk about the Spanish system, I think that we have all to be proud that our system, as you show us just last month, we get all the generation above 50% for the first time. That it is very good success, and also, as you mentioned, in November is going to be a very good year. I think this is the path where we want to be in the 2030 and in 2050. But just to finish, you show the figures that we want to have the 81% for renewals. And so we are talking about 50, and so we need to continue working as we are doing all the sector to arrive to this very ambitious but very optimistic point.
Thank you very much, Eva. I think you mentioned two words, important ones, innovation, which I already mentioned in my presentation, which I think it's very important. And you talk about how to integrate those new renewables projects that are around the territory. But at the same time, we think that a lot of new industries want to come to Spain because of the competitiveness that we are having in our country. So we also need to build a grid in order to respond to that demand. So my question is like a joint question for Gonzalo and Cristina. It's two parts. The first one, what are the main directions for this innovation that we will need to mobilize, and how we can do that through the organizations? And the second question will be, what are the competitive advantage that we have in Spain and in Europe, because we are very much we have a leadership in this energy transition. So Cristina, shall you start?
Well, in terms of competitiveness, we have been living these last years very strong regulation coming to the companies, and this has put a lot of pressure in decarbonizing. Some companies have done many efforts, others are doing them, but I think that the challenge now is to convert the Green Deal in a real industrial plan and a real commitment to the competitiveness of our industries. We need to accelerate the energy transition, but for that we need permitting procedures that allow us to accelerate and to put in place the investments. We need to create new markets for all the circular economy world that we are creating. We need innovation, we need technologies, and all that has to come in what we expect to be an implementation phase of all the commitments we have. We have set the scene, we have different commitments. Now we need to enter in a real implementation phase where we have to build all these tools that we had no time to develop, maybe, to put in place these commitments. And there we need stability, regulatory stability. We are longing for the closure, as the Director General was saying, the Fit for 55 package. We hope to close all the regulation and then to start to implement. Stability in terms of regulation. We need a clear push for innovation and technology, and we need a much strong collaboration and alliances between sectors that we really are seeing in terms of circular economy, energy transition. We are creating new forms of working and new collaborations between sectors, but we also need a much stronger collaboration with the public administrations to really be able to materialize this competitive advantage that we may have, that we need to build together.
Thank you, Cristina. Gonzalo, they told me that we have just 1 minute. I think we will make it more than 5, but if you can be short, and I can make the last question also to Jose and Eva. Gonzalo.
Very short. We need two things. I will say environmental tax reform to assure a level playing field for polluters and non-polluters, and streamline procedures and permitting. You are doing a great effort, but this is still a barrier. So I think we have to work together, and we have to do things in a better way, firms. But we need to work together. But you talk about firms, and I would like to mention that for me there are three kinds of firms. The firms that are taking advantage of these opportunities, we are going very fast. The firms of our group and others. We are seeing a greater interest for other firms, from industrial firms, for small and medium enterprises, not just because of climate change, but because of competitiveness on business opportunities. And the last thing I want to say, that there are a third type of firms that are companies with interest in fossil fuels. And here, that in theory lose from this energy transition. But I would like to quote, what Fatih Birol said before yesterday, that those companies have to decide now if they want to be part of the solution or continue to be part of the problem. So we are seeing, and we have here TEPSA, for instance, companies or regions that are adapting to this situation and are producing with oil, but at the same time are investing in renewables, are investing in the future. I think it's very important these regions and these companies move into this direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Gonzalo. I totally agree. I think we will continue this collaboration. I think we have been working together in the past, and we will do in the future. Just two quick questions for both of you, for Eva and Jose, and it's very much linked with the next session in the case of Jose, because we are suffering the vulnerabilities of independence in terms of value chain and in terms of materials from third countries. How you foresee opportunities for solar PV sectors in case of a strategic autonomy? This is one question for you. In the case of Eva, in the past years you have been a revolution in terms of generation and new projects. Can you just give us a very quick response how you see this evolution in Spain?
In our sector, I must say that it's a particular sector in relation with the supply chain. In Spain, we are able to manufacture with high quality. We have top quality, top companies at global level in the 65% of the LCOE of a plant. We have inverters manufacturer, trackers, structure, so and so. But we miss something. We miss the PV panels. And then if we are looking for a real energy sovereignty, we need to manufacture PV. The world has changed. Several years ago, we were very happy to import cheap PV panels from Asia. But now, after COVID, after Ukrainian war, we have discovered that these topics exist. And a new dystopia can happen in the future. And we must be ready for this possibility. Does not mean that we must work in autarchical terms, not. Does mean that, as in the past, we worked with the concept of strategic fossil fuel reserve. We need to work with the concept of strategic PV panel reserves. That does not mean to have PV panel storage in a warehouse. It means to have a capacity of manufacturers of PV panel in an important amount. I finish. That is key. That the policymaker must understand that even the case is not so competitive in economical terms, we need that. We need this. And now we have everything. We have the funds of the next generation. We have an important market with the target that we have in Spain and the rest of Europe, and we have the knowledge. It's the right moment to face this process now.
Thank you. Eva.
Very, very short, because we are out of time. From the point of view of the system operator, I think that we have been part of the success of Spain, and we want to continue to be in success in the future. And we need, for sure, for managing all this new scenario, that we have to have the information in real time. This is what we need from the system operation point of view, that allow us to maximize and minimize the curtailments at the moment. And from the transmission point of view, I think that we have a developing plan to continue with the effort, working for doing possible and shortening the permitting times and having visibility on long term, because the 2030 is today and the 2050 is tomorrow. So we need to speed up.
I totally agree. Eva, Jose, Gonzalo, and Cristina, thank you very much for being with us today in this big first session about the Spanish case and the good experience. We count also on you for the next years. And thank you. Thank you. We will.